Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. Today I want to talk about this. I have thought about this a lot over the years. It may sound a little strange, and let's face it, it's coming from me. Yeah, I think a lot. I do. I read a lot and I think a lot. Um, but just think about the word cult and comparing it to mainstream society, or any society really. Now, I'm not going to look up the formal definition of cult. I'm going to talk about it in the way I view it. Now, to me, in my opinion, a cult is a group with one or a very few at the top of the leadership who brainwash the rest of the group into believing a certain ideology, a certain narrative, whatever it might be. It is typically, I'm going to say religious. I hesitate to use the word spiritual, because what a true spiritual person would never do is try to brainwash or convince somebody to believe the way they do. Okay, it's your spiritual journey is your own personal spiritual journey, and we all will get there at one point or another. And a true spiritual person knows this, and that everything is actually okay, and there is nothing certain you have to do to get to nirvana, heaven, the spirit realm, whatever. So that being said, I think about this a lot. Okay, being brainwashed into a certain ideology. So this makes me wonder. I consider this often. Well, then wouldn't that make society, and I mean mainstream society, a cult? You have to think about that. The only reason we never consider it is because it's mainstream society, and most of society has been brainwashed to believe a certain narrative. And yes, that's another thing. A cult will separate you from others, so that they can get you to accept what they're saying and believe it and live it wholeheartedly. That's what society does. All through history, there's been division. They have always tried to divide the masses. So they are trying to keep us separate from someone else who might, have a different thought, and so we don't discuss it. Okay, there's the key. It's okay to not have the same opinions or beliefs or ideologies as someone else. That doesn't mean you have to be divided. If you have a mature conversation with someone on a certain topic that you don't agree on, and you could learn from that other person. You could learn from listening to each other and hearing each other. You don't even have to end up agreeing, but you can learn a lot that way. So it makes me think about that. Are not the powers that be intentionally keeping us divided? Hi everyone, it's Gypsy, and I'd like to remind you that my printed merchandise with my original artwork is again available at gypsywitchcreations.com. I am currently focusing on my decentralized American Eagle line. I currently have mugs, water bottles, bumper stickers, and magnets, and soon t-shirts will be available. I'm sorry, don't mind. My 10-month-old kitten is over here playing. My other cat, who's like 2 to 4 years old, we're not sure exactly, she just lays there quietly. Yeah, so it's a kitten doing that for Stephanie. Is it not the same thing? It's like the whole world is their little followers, their little cults, where they're slaves. And if we do, those of us who do not follow the narrative and think for ourselves, are kind of being ostracized. They want those who don't agree with their narrative to be attacked and hated. I see that going on in Canada most obviously at this moment right now. How is society not a cult? Whenever you are not permitted to have your own thoughts, free speech, or freedom at all. It's a cult. Anytime anybody is trying to convince you what is right or wrong, in the upper echelon's eyes, what is right and wrong, and you think about it, and you think to yourself, well, and I used to do this when I was younger all the time because I was afraid of not fitting in, and I never did feel like I fit in this planet. But you're looking inside, you go, that doesn't feel right, that doesn't sound right, but you're going to go along with it just to cover your ass. That's a cult. That's, whoops, Spirit got too close to the camera again. That's, it's a cult, okay? Pure and simple. You hear about cults separating people, dividing people, brainwashing the ones they know they can first. Okay? And that's who, yeah, and they keep the rest of the outside world out. So you cannot, speak to these people and talk to them about, well, did you ever consider this or whatever. And that's basically the same thing that goes on in society. When you have someone who doesn't think like the mainstream, they're attacked, they're ostracized. They're not really being separated. It's the group that is being told they're wrong and to stay away from them. Words like conspiracy theorists. Now, I'm not saying some of these conspiracy theories are not just theories, but they are worth thinking about, considering. But that term was made up to ostracize those people and make them look bad. So you are separating the mainstream from these people. Don't listen to them so that the mainstream can be brainwashed. The only difference between a cult and society is a bigger group. Think about that. Society is a cult. Whenever you're not thinking for yourself, whenever you're not looking inside and you're listening to the powers that be or the mainstream, they're zombies. I've heard people call them sheeples. Whenever you're doing that, you're being brainwashed. Always, always think for yourself. If it doesn't feel right to you, even what I'm saying to you right now doesn't feel right to you, don't accept it. Always look within. See what's right for you. Whenever you do that, whenever you use your intuition and you look within and you stand by what you truly feel, then you're not being brainwashed. We don't all have to see everything the same way. We don't all have to believe the same way. We certainly all don't have to do the same thing. It's when you're being told you have to, that's a cult, okay? So I just wanted to lay out that little food for thought. I thought this video would be much longer and I'd go on one of my rants, but nah, I don't feel like it. Anyways, I'm going to leave everybody with that. I'll leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.